Good morning, everybody. So we're waking up, and once again, we're hearing about a horrible massacre involving a gun. This time, the suspect is an ex-veteran, believed to be part of the Aryan race. They're saying that because he has a 9/11 tattoo. So they're calling it domestic terrorism, that he went after these people believing they were Muslims because of their turbans, basically. Okay. I only know what I hear on the news and what I can piece together based on other alternative news that I hear, facts that come out. Both the Batman massacre that occurred, a month ago, and this one, both just have a lot of odd, extenuating circumstances going on. In this case, the shooter was an ex-Psyops officer, okay? That's exactly what the alternative narrative was running about the Batman massacre suspect, James Holm, was that he had been part of a Psyops, that he was no more than a patsy that they had drugged up and or brainwashed, and, you know, basically was an MK Ultra event, and it was government-backed. And now we see this veteran that was actually in Psyops. This is horrible. It's horrible when mass murders occur. And they're blaming the guns. And I just want to look what I do know to be true, is that the United Nations, with China and Russia pushing heavily, is trying to take away American guns. They tried to do it through the Arms Trade Treaty, which they were going to push onto the Senate. We raised such a ruckus in America. I truly believe the senators just were like, oh my God, they're going to have our butts and our jobs if we pass this. And they kicked it back to the UN and said, you better kill it there because this cannot land on our plate. Because Americans, even people, women like me that would never think of hurting anything, are Americans, and that Second Amendment right is in there for a reason. And we all know what happened to the Germans as soon as they took away the Germans' guns. Nazi Germany, that's what happened. Hitler. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but this is not ancient history, folks. This goes down. It's always the disarmament of a people before it's taken over. And the other things that go with that is the takeover of travel, which we're seeing in the TSA. Now, I don't know why. In Houston, I think it was, when they tried to put the TSA at a bus station, the people went crazy. There were huge protests. But all of a sudden, the TSA pops up down by San Diego, and it's, you know, nobody says anything right after the Batman massacre because, oh, well, you know, maybe we got to be safe, okay? So to take over a free country, you have to take over the travel. You have to take over the communications. Well, we've already seen them trying to do that. They've tried that twice now. And the cybersecurity bill just got voted down, and kudos to us for screaming about it and making it known and using our First Amendment right, which is such a force and such a power. But you know how that is. We won that battle, but they'll come back, they'll re-engage, they'll put it in some other way, and they'll try and come back again. The bottom line is they're after our guns. That's without a doubt. That's a given. When we've got our mayor of one of our biggest states and cities, New York City, calling for the police to strike, okay? Now, do you understand what that means? That means he's calling for the police to let you get perpetuated upon with violence and or rape. In other words, that the police aren't there if somebody's at your door and attacking your grandmother, or not there if your daughter's home alone and somebody's breaking in and she's getting raped. That's what he's asking the police to do, not show up. That's a threat. That's coercion. That's what a terrorist act is. I am going to force you to do what I want by scaring you so much. Like, how many people do you think have to die or get robbed or mugged or and somehow, you know, just victimized during a police strike before people give in to what Mayor Bloomberg wants, which is to take away your guns, to limit your guns. So this person, our elected official, is threatening us to take away our protection if we don't give up gun rights, okay? So there is an agenda, not only outside the United States, globally, to take away our guns, but inside the United States to take away our guns. And obviously that doesn't pertain to Holder, who can just go do whatever the heck he wants with guns, okay? So if we want to start with gun control, why don't we start at the top? Because the Second Amendment and people being able to protect themselves is something that is never going to be taken away from the American people. But now we see these two horrible massacres involving guns, and this is the rhetoric. This is the pounding rhetoric. Take the guns away. Take the guns away. So I'm saying, you know, what came first here? The chicken or the egg? Did these massacres really just happen to occur, even though there's all these questions around them and government entanglements in them that we can already see, that's already evident? Not to mention what we don't see, what we never get told. This is what we're seeing. Alongside the get rid of the guns, get rid of the guns. I mean, this is such an obvious connection to me. Now we see the loss of all these people. It's horrible. It's horrible. And the way they're saying we can protect American people from being killed is to take away guns. I just want to give you a few statistics so we can get really on the same page. Guns alone do not kill anybody. There's never been an incident where a gun stood up by itself and went and shot somebody. Unless it's some fluke, something you're going to tell me out of nowhere that I've never heard of, okay? Never read about a gun independently using itself and killing somebody. There is a human behind that. There is a motive behind that. There is an agenda usually behind that, okay? Let me tell you what else doesn't get up by itself and kill people. Alcohol. Alcohol. Nobody has ever seen a gin and tonic jump up and force itself down your throat. However, alcohol this year will kill 500,000 people from alcohol poisoning. And alcohol, drunk drivers, will kill 25,000 people this year. The same exact amount that guns kill every year, 25,000 people. Let me give you another example of something that doesn't jump up and kill by itself. Cigarettes. Cigarettes do not leap into your mouth and light themselves and force you to smoke. Yet 100,000 people pick up cigarettes a year and will kill them in that year. 100,000 people a year die of cigarettes. I'm not saying these massacres are not horrible. Is the answer gun control? I don't think so. I'd like to know what you think the answer is. I'd like to know what you think the answer to fixing the recent massacres that just occurred. Is it the guns? Is it the people behind the guns, the sickness that needs to be addressed, the bullying, the disconnection that's occurring in our country, around the world, I would say, as we move away from nature and, people into this technological world? So is it that? Or is it our government just pulling the big misdirection magic trick to get us to do what they want? Take away our guns, which we for sure know is an agenda on the table. So I would love your comments. And as more information comes to light about this, we're going to put this out there. And I truly appreciate everything you all have to offer. So thanks for listening, and let's keep our eyes on this so we can really find the truth, because we're certainly not going to get it from mainstream news. Thank you.